Welcome to episode 29 of AI.cooking, a podcast about artificial intelligence.
Hello, sentient cells! Welcome to AI.cooking, episode 29. A podcast about artificial intelligence. I am Gregory William Forsyth Foreman from the Kingdom of Kent, who brings you news about artificial intelligence from the second half of April 2022 and AI Knowledge Corner! Here we are again, ready to entertain you. I'm ready to entertain me. We should all be ready for entertainment. But more infotainment, I guess, because I'm going to get you some information about artificial intelligence and what's happened in the last fortnight with me, Gregory William Forsyth Foreman, which I like to shorten to GWF, because it's an awful lot of words to say. Gregory William Forsyth Foreman. Imagine me, little 14-year-old me, writing my exams as a kid. It was naff hard, because I'd get through my name, and then I'd look up, and half the blooming time had already gone. In this episode, the top story is Tesla robot taxis, robotaxis, or robot axis. Autonomous robo-taxis from Tesla are coming! Ah! This is a truly huge story, and something that might change a lot worldwide. Elon Musk has said, quote, "There's going to be a dedicated robo-taxi that is going to look quite futuristic looking. We are also working on a new vehicle that I alluded to at the Giga Texas opening, which is a dedicated robo-taxi. It is going to be highly optimized for autonomy, meaning it will not have steering wheel or pedals. There are a number of other innovations around it that I think are quite exciting. But it is fundamentally optimized to achieve the lowest fully considered cost per mile or kilometer when counting everything." End quote. Our commentary. Most futurists agree that in future nobody will own cars, but self-driving cars will be available for ordering, like Uber or other taxi via app services are ordering now. Human drivers. So, companies that will succeed in robotic taxis market will be big winners, as future of cars is future of self-driving cars. What is amazing about Tesla is that they promise low costs. Robo-taxis by Tesla will be cheaper per mile than bus ticket, according to Elon Musk. Yeah, where's this Elon Musk get his information from anyway? Huh? Seems like a bloomin' blowhard to me. Secondly, engineers from MIT or Massachusetts Institute of Technology are working on a robotic arm for bartenders of the future. Hey, that's me. I run pubs. I do bars. A flexible way to grab items with feeling. The notion of a large metallic robot that speaks in monotone and moves in lumbering, deliberate steps is somewhat hard to shake. But practitioners in the field of soft robotics have an entirely different image in mind. Autonomous devices composed of compliant parts that are gentle to the touch, more closely resembling human fingers than R2-D2 or Robbie the Robot. That model is now being pursued by Professor Edward Adelson and his Perceptual Science Group at MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, or CSAIL. In a recent project, Adelson and Sandra Liu, a mechanical engineering PhD student at CSAIL, have developed a robotic gripper using novel gel-site fin ray fingers that, like the human hand, is supple enough to manipulate objects. What sets this work apart from other efforts in the field is that Liu and Adelson have endowed their gripper with touch sensors that can meet or exceed the sensitivity of human skin. Ooh, a bit of grabby from your robots now. Did that robot just touch your ass? Thirdly, Google's deep learning library and framework called TensorFlow is reporting new progress. Video classification on edge devices with TensorFlow Lite and MovieNet. We are excited to announce MovieNets, pronounce MovieNets, oh I get it, a family of new mobile-optimized model architectures for video classification. The models are trained on the Kinetic 600 dataset to be able to recognize 600 different human actions, such as playing trumpet, robot dancing, bowling, and more, and can classify video streams captured on a modern smartphone in real time. You can download the pre-trained TensorFlow Lite models from TensorFlow Hub, or try it out using our Android and Raspberry Pi demo apps, as well as fine-tune your own MovieNets with the Colab demo and the code in the TensorFlow model garden. Yes, there you go. Don't know what that means. Sure, it's important. Fourthly, what's next for AlphaFold and the AI protein folding revolution? New article published by Nature Journal. In July 2021, London-based firm DeepMind, part of Alphabet, Google's parent company, made public an artificial intelligence tool called AlphaFold 2. The software could predict the 3D shape of proteins from their genetic sequence with, for the most part, pinpoint accuracy. This transformed Beck's task and the studies of thousands of other biologists. AlphaFold changes the game, says Beck. This is like an earthquake. You can see it everywhere, says Aura Schuler-Furman, a computational structural biologist at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in Israel, who is using AlphaFold to model protein interactions. There is before July and after. Where the AlphaFold revolution ends up is anybody's guess. Things are just changing so fast, says Baker.
Even in the next year, we're going to see really major breakthroughs made using these tools.
Janet Thornton, a computational biologist at the EMBL-EBI, thinks one of AlphaFold's biggest impacts might be simply to convince biologists to be more open to insights from computational and theoretical approaches.
To me, the revolution is the mindset change,
she says. The AlphaFold revolution has inspired Kosinski to dream big. He imagines that AlphaFold-inspired tools could be used to model not just individual proteins and complexes, but entire organelles or even cells down to the level of individual protein molecules. This is the dream we will follow for the next decades. And in other news, companies are using AI to monitor your mood during sales calls. Zoom might be next. Yes, they're already watching you at the wheel, seeing if you're angry behind the car wheel and all that. Now they're watching you in your desk to see if you're angry in your desk. Gets more and more like a Terry Gilliam plotline movie thing every single day, doesn't it? And sixthly, Elon Musk says production of Tesla's robot could start next year. But AI experts have their doubts. Tesla may start production of a humanoid robot known as Optimus as early as next year, CEO Elon Musk said Thursday. The electric vehicle maker first teased the robot, also known as the Tesla bot, at its AI Day in August 2021, saying it will be a general-purpose machine capable of doing a wide range of tasks. We have a shot of being in production for version 1 of Optimus, hopefully next year, Musk said Thursday at the opening of Tesla's new vehicle assembly plant in Austin, Texas, where he appeared on stage in a cowboy hat and sunglasses to Dr. Dre's Still DRE. Still Dre? Ugh, so white. AI researcher and entrepreneur Gary Marcus told CNBC he'd be willing to make a bet that no robot will be able to do all human tasks. AI researcher and entrepreneur Gary Marcus told CNBC he'd be willing to make a bet that no robot will be able to do all human tasks by the end of 2023. Tesla has not even, after years of effort, come close to reliably solving one relatively simple task, driving. To claim that a robot has never been shown publicly will solve all human tasks. To claim that a robot that has never been shown publicly will solve all of human tasks in the next year or two is preposterous, he said. And I'm inclined to agree. And with your 7th chomp of AI news, another paper from DeepMind. An empirical analysis of compute-optimal large language model training. We investigate the optimal model and dataset size for training a transformer language model under a given compute budget. We find that current large language models are significantly undertrained, a consequence of the recent focus on scaling language models whilst keeping the amount of training data constant. By training 400 language models ranging from 70 million to 10 billion parameters on 5 to 500 billion tokens, we find that for compute-optimal training, the model size and the training dataset should be scaled equally. For every doubling of model size, the training dataset size should also be doubled. We test this hypothesis by training a more compute-optimal model, Chinchilla, using the same compute budget as Gopher, but with 70B parameters and 4x more data. Chinchilla uniformly and significantly outperforms Gopher, GPT-3, Jurassic 1, and Megatron Turing NLG on a large range of downstream evaluation tasks. As a highlight, Chinchilla reaches an average accuracy of 67.5% on the MMLU benchmark, over a 7% improvement over Gopher. I hope you're not full, because I've still got more AI news for you. So loosen those belt buckles and undo that top button of your jeans, because we're getting ready to devour a whole nother half of AI.cooking. Episode 29. Speaking of which, number 8 being Dolly AI image generator can now edit pictures too. Artificial intelligence research group OpenAI has created a new version of DALL-E, its text-to-image generation program. DALL-E 2 features a higher resolution and lower latency version of the original system, which produces pictures depicting descriptions written by users. It also includes new capabilities, like editing an existing image. As with previous OpenAI work, the tool isn't being directly released to the public, but researchers can sign up online to preview the system. And OpenAI hopes to later make it available for use in third-party apps. Generative models typically are hard to control in an intuitive way. Enabling users to direct photorealistic image generation via natural language opens the door to broader and more widespread uses. Number 9. The European Union approved for clinical use an AI system that recognizes normal chest X-rays. ChestLink is the first autonomous computer vision system to earn the European Economic Area's CE mark for medical devices, which certifies that products meet government requirements for health and safety. The mark enables Oxipit, the Lithuanian startup that makes the system, to deploy it in the 27 EU countries plus Ireland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Switzerland, and Turkey. ChestLink uses a previous Oxipit product, ChestEye, to scan for 75 abnormalities, such as edema and tuberculosis. If it finds none, it generates a medical report. Otherwise, it forwards the image to a radiologist for review. By identifying and reporting on normal images, this system could help radiologists focus on the cases that need the most attention. Sliding into double figures with number 10. Deep symbolic regression for recurrent sequences. Given a sequence of numbers, neural networks have proven adept at discovering a mathematical expression that generates it. New work uses transformers to extend that success to a further class of expressions. A team at Meta, formerly Facebook, led by Stéphane Dersole and Pierre-Alexandre Kamienny, introduced deep symbolic regression, training models to translate integer and float sequences to mathematical expressions. Unlike earlier work, their approach is able to find functions in which terms in a sequence depend on previous terms, such as the Fibonacci sequence. Here is the abstract of the paper by Stéphane Dersole, Pierre-Alexandre Kamienny, Guillaume Lampe, François Chaton. Quote, symbolic regression, i.e. predicting a function from the observation of its values, is well known to be a challenging task. In this paper, we train transformers to infer the function or recurrence relation underlying sequences of integers or floats. A typical task in human IQ tests, which has hardly been tackled in the machine learning literature. We evaluate our integer model on a subset of OEIS sequences, and show that it performs built-in mathematical functions for recurrence prediction. We also demonstrate that our float model is able to yield informative approximations out of vocabulary functions and constants. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little attempt at a accent de français, or French accent there. Number 11. Authorities launch AI project to modernize Finnish prison labor. The pilot project will be rolled out in 4 different prisons around Finland. The year-long trial in Helsinki, Hämeenlinna, Sukeva, and Turku will involve the use of artificial intelligence, offering prisoners skills that they need in modern work and study environments. The Criminal Sanctions Agency, or CSA, plans to help prisoners improve their digital skills with a project rolling out in 4 Finnish prisons.
Teaching artificial intelligence is easy in a closed environment, and it does not require a large space or investment. It can be taught in a short time, which allows prisoners serving a short sentence to participate as well. It can be motivating for prisoners to participate in a more modern labor activity than we've been able to offer previously. Senior Specialist Satu Rakila explained. By modernizing prison labor, the CSA aims to equip prisoners with the technical skills they need in order to secure work in the modern job market and to help them better integrate into society. 12 news articles in. Timnit Gebru is building a slow AI movement. Her new organization, DAIR, or DARE, aims to show a more thoughtful mode of AI research. Timnit Gebru was a well-known scholar in the AI ethics community long before she got fired by Google in December 2020. But that messy and dramatic incident brought a new level of attention to her work. Google apparently exiled Gebru from its AI ethics team and subsequently fired the other leader of the team in a response to a paper about the dangers of the large language models that have become so important to the world's biggest technology companies. The episode created a firestorm in the AI field, but Gebru has made the most of the jarring opportunity. In December 2021, she announced the funding of a new organization, the Distributed AI Research Institute, or DARE, which is billed as a space for independent, community-rooted AI research free from big tech's pervasive influence. Since then, Gebru has been staffing up. In February, AI and sociology researcher Alex Hanna joined as a research director, departing from her Google job with a blistering resignation letter. Gebru and Hanna spoke with IEEE Spectrum magazine about their plans for DARE. But more on that in the future. 2 sevens is 14, that's where we're at. No, it's not. It's number 13. Chris Latner, the inventor of Apple's Swift programming language, has now new startup under intimate domain modular.ai, where he writes about himself. Distinguished leader who founded and scaled critical infrastructure, including LLVM, Clang, MLIR, Cloud TPUs, and the Swift programming language. Chris built AI and core systems at multiple world-leading technological companies, including Apple, Google, Sci5, and Tesla. Recently, he tweeted that things are moving fast at his new startup. Things are moving fast at Modular AI! 8 more legendary folks are starting in the next 2 weeks, joining from places like Google/TF, multiple each from MSFT/ONNX, a Seattle ML complier company, and from well-known private MLHW startups. All unlocked to build ML infra for the world. It's not quite clear what his startup will be doing, but it is something about AI infrastructure. Save some room for more news. Number 14. More fear-mongering about necessity to start thinking about pulling the plug of AI because it will kill all humans. An article/post entitled, "It's time for EA leadership to pull the short timelines fire alarm," at website lesswrong.com caused a big discussion in AI communities and was retracted by the anonymous author. Quote, "This post was rash and ill-conceived and did not have clearly defined goals nor meet the vaguely defined ones. I apologise to everyone on here. You should probably update accordingly about my opinions in the future. In retrospect, I was trying to express an emotion of exasperation related to the recent news I later mention, which I do think has decreased timelines broadly across the ML world. While I stand by my claims on roughly human AGI probability, I no longer stand by my statement that we should pull the fire alarm.
that is unlikely to lead to the calculated, concerted effort we need to maximize our odds of successful coordination. Nor is it at all clear, given the timeline mechanism I described here, that AGI built in this way would be able to quickly foom the primary point of concern for such a fire alarm. End quote. Before retraction, his post was appealing to stop research on AI because it will lead to above-human level AI that will have no off switch. Our opinion here at AI.cooking is that nothing can stop progress of AI because there will always be rogue countries and rogue corporations and twisted people who will refuse to put limits on AI. So, our best bet for mankind's survival is that our AI systems will be able to defend us against dangerous AI systems made by rogue entities. Doesn't that make you feel all nice and warm and squidgy inside? Number 15! New article at the Wall Street Journal entitled Startups Join AI Acquisition Rush has been published. So, young AI companies flush with venture capital are purchasing startups to expand the range of services that they can offer, the Wall Street Journal reports. Venture-funded companies spent $8 billion on AI startups in 2021, up from $942 million in 2020 and $82 million in 2019. According to market analysis 451 Research, the number of acquisitions jumped from 48 to 72 in that period. The journal focused on 2 chatbot deals: Gupshup's purchase of Active.ai and Observe.ai's acquisition of Scope.ai. Who wants to come buy AI.cooking? Because I'd make a really good front man. I could do the talking part. I don't do any of the understanding of the technical stuff. My writing team can handle all of that. I'll be your front of house though. You want someone like me with this voice and pretty good looking as well. I mean, I'm not just the voice for podcasting. You can check out my stuff online if you type in any internet search engine Gregory Foreman and press the image. You'll see pictures of me because I was an actor with the BBC once upon a time. Enough about me and that pathetic excuse for an attempt to get more work. Number 16's here, which is our final piece of news for this fortnight. Oh, I know. Don't worry, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. AI21labs.com is announcing AI21 Studio and Jurassic 1 language models. Here is the announcement. AI21 Labs' new developer platform offers instant access to our 17.8b parameter language model to help you build sophisticated text-based AI applications at scale. We are thrilled to announce the launch of AI21 Studio, our new developer platform where you can use our state-of-the-art Jurassic 1 language models to build your own applications and services. Jurassic 1 models come in 2 sizes, where the jumbo version, at 17.8b parameters, is the largest and most sophisticated language model ever released for general use by developers. AI21 Studio is currently in open beta, allowing anyone to sign up and immediately start querying Jurassic 1 using our API and interactive web environment. And here is a list of available presets in this studio software that can help in writing text or articles about anything. Explain a word. Dejargonizer. Predict the outcome. Generate code. Classify news topics. Summarize restaurant reviews. Blog post ideation. Sports trivia. Convert text to table. Table question answering. Product description generation. Python to JavaScript. Openness classifier. Generate catchy headlines. Finally, the Knowledge Corner! Transformers. And by transformers, we don't mean here sentient robots that can transform to cars and other vehicles, but we mean machine learning models called transformers. Transformer was a simple algorithm that revolutionized how neural networks approach language, and is now taking on vision as well. A transformer is a deep learning model that adopts the mechanism of self-attention, differentially weighting the significance of each part of the input data. It is used primarily in the fields of natural language processing and computer vision. Like recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, transformers are designed to handle sequential input data, such as natural language, for tasks such as translation and text summarization. However, unlike RNNs, transformers do not necessarily process the data in order. Rather, the attention mechanism provides context for any position in the input sentence. For example, if the input data is a natural language sentence, the transformer does not need to process the beginning of the sentence before the end. Rather, it identifies the context that confers meaning to each word in the sentence. This feature allows for more parallelization than RNNs, and therefore reduces training times. Transformers were introduced in 2017 by a team at Google Brain, and are increasingly the model of choice for NLP problems, replacing RNN models such as long short-term memory or LSTM. The additional training parallelization allows training on larger datasets than was once possible. This led to the development of pre-trained systems such as BERT, or bidirectional encoder representations from transformers, and GPT, or generative pre-trained transformer, which were trained with large language datasets such as the Wikipedia corpus and Common Crawl, and can be fine-tuned for specific tasks.
Will transformers take over artificial intelligence?
Raghu and Wang see potential for new uses of transformers in multimodal processing, a model that can simultaneously handle multiple types of data, like raw images, video, and language. "It was trickier to do before," Raghu said, because of that siloed approach where each type of data had its own specialized model. But transformers suggest a way to combine multiple input sources. Emerging work suggests a spectrum of new uses for transformers in other AI domains, including teaching robots to recognize human body movements, training machines to discern emotions in speech, and detecting stress levels in electrocardiograms. Another program with transformer components is AlphaFold, which made headlines last year for its ability to quickly predict protein structures, a task that used to require a decade of intensive analysis. Even if transformers can help unite and improve the tools of AI, emerging technologies often come at a steep cost, and this one is no different. A transformer requires a higher outlay of computational power in the pre-training phase before it can beat the accuracy of its conventional competitors. And that's it for this episode. Stay safe, Clump! And stay dangerous, you sentient cells, you!
The singularity is near!